are with a coin toss. Let's check that out, shall we?
So, Mr. Nick Rosario,
Yes, sir.
there's
Go ahead.
I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of things that have happened, and I know there's a lot of things that we're thinking about talking about. Are we going to talk about Michigan winning last night? No, that's not what we're talking about. Are we going to talk about right now the Edmonton Oilers playing the Chicago Blackhawks? No, we're not talking about that
No,
either. Are we going to talk
no.
about Michael Penix Jr. getting his third loss? No, we're also not going to
No.
talk about that. We are talking about the Atlanta Falcons getting a new head coach. Let's go.
Yes, that is true, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that wonderful intro into this segment, Kyle.
I
Black
thought we was
Monday.
gonna talk about.
Coaches.
I thought we was gonna
What?
talk about saving 5 to 10% on our car insurance by switching to Geico.
Well, it
I
was
was
either
ready
that
for it.
or the new 2 for $3 menu at McDonald's, but whatever. We can talk about that later.
That's also a good
Yeah,
topic.
right. Black Monday. Coaches that were fired. And of course, as you know, we do have a Falcon fan who is a regular here, and Kyle Yacey is also a Falcon fan. So Arthur
Let's
Smith
go.
was the first one to fall. He fell Sunday night, didn't he? Like he literally got
Yes,
the
he
chop
did.
after the game. Yeah, he got the
fell-
chop
he fell a
immediately.
minute-
Now,
Yeah.
now I'll be honest with you. You always hope for your team to win, as I'm sure you all know, right? You know, with team the Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears, but they're like I was saying this on the last episode as well. Is there is such thing as draft security? Okay, so going into that game, I'll be completely honest with you. I did not want the Falcons to win. To be honest, what I wanted to happen is exactly what ended up happening, and even better, to be honest with you, is I wanted Atlanta to get destroyed by the Saints, and then on top of that, I wasn't expecting the cherry on top to be Arthur Smith almost getting into a fight with Dennis Allen. And at that point,
Yeah.
at that very point, I'm like, you look terrible. Get out of our franchise. That's it. So I was happy. I was super happy that it happened on Sunday night. It was a little unexpected. I was thinking maybe Monday early, but no, it was the absolute right decision. Absolutely.
They waited too
Yeah,
damn late to do
I
it.
don't think. Right. I mean, I think a lot of people knew it was coming. Obviously, especially you guys, because you follow the team. But
Mhm.
I made a joke because I thought it was kind of funny. Like the whole thing that happened on Sunday with the scoring the touchdown late for Jamal Williams and all that whole thing, and it was like, well, would it really have made a difference? Like, so you lost by 31 instead of 24. Your job was gone anyways. Like, what are you getting
Yeah.
upset for, Arthur Smith? Just leave it alone and take your L and just know that you can go look for another job now. We'll see. But Handy, how about you? What do you got to say? We know, believe me, Kyle probably talk all night. Could talk all night about
I'm
this.
pumped.
Yeah, he's pumped. What about you, Handy? How are you feeling about Arthur Smith getting the old axe?
If you, sorry, I've been watching that Cat Williams video for a whole week now.
Oh no.
Cat, no. See, then I came out my mouth with Cat. They should have fired that dude about a season and a half ago. He should have been gone. Like it doesn't take 3 seasons to figure out that he's not the person for the job. Hell, this dude started working at my job 3 months ago, and I could tell he needs to transfer to another department, and that's 90 days. He ain't even finished training yet.
Okay.
Is it about the money? Because they gave him a big old fat contract, and he's probably gonna make all his money. Listen, last time I checked, the biggest retailer in the United States is the one with the big blue box. I ain't gonna say that name, but it sounds like False Smart. So if you buy something that's not perishable and it don't work or you don't like it, you can take it back and you can say, hey, I bought this. It was the wrong thing. It was the wrong size. I bought it and I didn't like it. And you bring it back, you sit it down, and they will gladly give you your money back. I think these NFL franchises need to start instituting a money back guarantee on their purchase. That man should get back every nickel he stole. That man knew good hell well. That's like me going and applying for a job working at NASA. That man knew good hell well he couldn't coach no damn football. He didn't look like he ever watched football a day in his life.
On top of that, though, Handy is like what we're paying him now. That's the outrageous part. I think he's getting like something like 17,000 a day.
What?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he's getting. Yeah, you have to go look it up. There is like some kind of stat right now that what we're paying him for the next 3 years is absolutely outrageous.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones. I'm sorry, Jerry Jones. If you ever decide that you need another quarterback, you want to try something different. I know you like to spend money on stuff that don't make no sense. Call me. So Arthur Blank ain't gonna hire me. I'm just saying that man should be gone a long time ago. Didn't that whole thing with him getting mad at Dennis Allen over that play? That's like y'all remember the Kevin Hart special where he talked about how his dad got beat up and then want to talk trash after. That was exactly what that was. He talked, we good, not dad. Say that. The winner's supposed to say that. He will get mad. Man, sit down. You got embarrassed. Embarrassed Falcons Nation. The Last of Us still watching the Falcons after they lost to Tom Brady. Yes, I'm not ever letting go of that. The Last of Us is still hanging on after you built the big ginormous. Okay, so the stadium is beautiful and the food is cheaper than most other NFL stadiums, and that's a plus. But that's about the only plus to being a Falcons fan right now.
Yeah. No, you said it all. The only thing that's kind of the downside is just that Rich McKay is still there, which kind of sucks. But
it's more people showing up to the Rob Bass nostalgia tour concerts than it is going to Falcons shows right now. Sorry, I don't mean to dog on Rob Bass, but let's be real, he only had 2 songs and only one of them was really popping like that. So anyway, my point in all of this is I am that one right there. Yeah. What?
It takes 2 to make things all right.
I want to rap right now. What? Anyway, my point is really simple. He should have been fired a long time ago. I'm glad they got rid of him. I don't know why it took so long for them to get rid of him. It kind of was like being in a bad relationship and you know the relationship is bad. You like, well, you know what? They got some redeeming qualities. No, they don't. There was nothing that I could find about that man that was redeeming. I don't mean to pick on people for certain things that they can't help, but at least if they're paying him if somebody was paying me $17,000 a day, you know how crispy my lineup would be. That man.
No, Andy, how crispy would your lineup be?
Well, it wouldn't really be much of a lineup up here because I don't have no hair here. But
how crispy would it be there, sir?
This right here would be crispy like this would be crispy like cream. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Arthur Smith looked like he let his 6-year-old cut his hair with a Flowbee in the dark.
Alrighty then. Well, there you go. And on that note, let's add. There was kind of a bet here. I mean, for you Falcons fans. So we're going to bring on a guy who lost said bet. And Mr. Spencer, thank you for joining us on this fine Tuesday. Would you care to explain what the bet was and what it is you're paying for by losing this bet, sir? Why don't you give us the update on that then?
Yes, the bet was that I bet that the Atlanta Falcons would make the playoffs. And if I were to lose, I needed to have a sub, something to drink, and to explain that Mr. Anthony Handy is one of the most knowledgeable football guys, analyst. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. For 2 years, I'm being very honest. For 2 years, this man told me Stetson Bennett, Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers, led by Kirby Smart. He told me these guys were going to dominate. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. 2 years in a row, this man told me time and time again that it was going to happen. And it happened. And 2 years, this guy told me the Falcons are going to choke later in the season. And each time it happened. So, sir.
Wait a minute. You know what? Thank you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had the greatest album of all time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But just wanted to add, Anthony, with all this like predictions and stuff. I guess this is both. We don't know anything yet. But who's going to be the next head coach and who's going to be the next quarterback?
I don't know because it's Arthur Blank, and Arthur Blank is going to Arthur Blank. Just like they say, the math ain't math and the science ain't science, and dogs are going to dog, cats are going to cat. Arthur Blank is going to Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank is probably going to hire somebody from the paint department in one of his Atlanta Home Depot stores. That's what it looked like he got. I think Arthur Smith was working on the back of the loading dock. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think Zach Wilson's available.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way to go.
Hackett might need a job too.
Nathaniel might need another job.
Nathaniel might need a job. The only one that's keeping Nathaniel's job is Mr. Aaron Rodgers, so maybe not.
Aaron Rodgers. Well, as much as I love
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. That's right. Well, again, that's another discussion entirely on why that guy doesn't have a head coaching job yet, right? So, well, you never know. Maybe this will be his year. Somebody will give Eric a chance. Here we go. Let's keep a close eye on that. But let us move on a little bit. I appreciate the Falcons talk. We got a lot more to talk about. We also want to add another person here that was decided to join us, and we appreciate that. Mr. Alex Loosemore. Alex, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday, sir? And by the way, before we start, congratulations to your Michigan Wolverines. So, Kyle, we are going to talk about it briefly. You guys won the national title last night, beating Washington. So, congratulations, sir. I know you're a huge Wolverine fan. To the victor goes the spoils, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How are you on Tuesday? How are you feeling today? You feeling good with everything? You know, you won the national title, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on cloud nine today. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Jim Harbaugh is going to go to the NFL now, right? And Nathan says boo. So there you go.
I
guess
I'm
Nathan was
not
pulling
so
for Washington.
sure about
I don't
that
know.
anymore.
Right.
I'm not-
Your
I've heard a
lips
lot of
to
ways.
God's ears.
They asked him the questions yesterday, kind of like, what does the future hold? Are you like looking at the NFL? And he immediately went to, well, you know, typically we do spring practice starting Valentine's Day. We're going to push it back to March. And he was talking about the upcoming season for Michigan. So
That doesn't mean anything, though. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm
He
back
did the
to
same
50-50.
thing when he was in the line to take the Broncos
Hey.
job too. Like he's
Hey, Alex. Drake May also said that he really likes Chapel Hill and he wants to stay another year.
I was gonna say I was like
Rick
95% Harbaugh was leaving. Now I'm back to like 60 leaving, 40 staying. I'm kind of like
There you go.
I still think he's gone, but we'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see.
We definitely have to wait and see that. So let's go get to another since Alex has joined us. And since Sean is still here, Ron Rivera of your Washington Commanders also got the X. Sean Spencer, you care to
Riverboat.
comment on? Right, you care to comment on this, Mr. Spencer? I mean, is this good for you? Are you happy? What's the deal?
Listen,
Give it to us.
There were times when he would be coaching us and he would just leave us with just this thought of
What?
what? And there were other times when he'd sit there and make you say,
I think we all felt that at some
Really?
point during our games.
guy, look, at the end of the day, you got to give him credit for what he did. And I know you're saying, okay, well, he didn't win, but he did get us to the playoffs with the crappy team in the NFC least. Yeah, whatever. He still put the team together while having
Still in the
COVID,
division.
while starting 4 quarterbacks, one of which broke his leg. It was coming back from that. One of which is no longer with us, R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins. Then the next year he had to deal all the while dealing with Dan Snyder, dealing with those in charge, just bringing him down. At the end of the day, he revamped the culture in DC, but he was also in charge of personnel and bringing players in, and his drafts have not been great. This guy, it's funny. One of the things that he's marked by is he was a linebacker.
Right.
For Chicago,
Yes,
you
I
guys
do.
know he's a big name linebacker.
But his whole career here.
Right. Washington never had a solid linebacker in all his time.
Yeah.
We had
Kinda
Cole
crazy,
Holcomb. Right. And the crazy part also, and this is kind of sidebar on EB running back, you know what I mean, all throughout, college and the pros, and we were one of the worst rushing teams in the league.
Refuse to use the running backs. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
when you don't use them, guess what? They don't rush. Just saying.
At the end of the day, we knew this was going to happen. We knew Ron was going to go, and he kind of, it is what it is. We're going in a new direction. We knew it was going to happen. For me, I come over to the side where I'm okay with it. I'm good. Let's see who else we're getting in and things of that nature. But at the same time, I do got to throw that respect to him, because when he came in, we were 3-13, and we had Josh Johnson as our quarterback, and we get Chase Young and everything like that. We were really, really in a dark, dark place, and he kind of brought us together. It is more of a moral support victory. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's always kind of had us relevant at certain times. We always win the game we're not supposed to win, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, the bottom fell out this year, and that's just what it is.
Understood. No, again, you and I have had massive discussions, so we could probably go on for, a half hour as well about Sam Howell and all the stuff that happened this year and why things went the way they did. But at the end of the day, that was enough for new Washington management. There's a new coach. There's going to be a new coach in the D.C. area next year, my friends. So that should be interesting to see who ends up in good old Washington. But let us move on because there was another coach that was fired. And Ben says Rivera's best years were in Carolina in the mid-2010s. The Washington era wasn't his best, but previous ownership didn't help him, his cause, and also his health issue unfortunately got in the way. Probably all true, Ben. That's not a false statement by any means. He was had a super. He got him all the way to the Super Bowl. They couldn't pull the victory, but they got there. And he, again, we wish Ron the best. I've always been a fan, obviously, from his playing days here in Chicago. So I always rooted for Ron wherever he went. So hopefully he'll end up somewhere. It's a new chapter in Washington. Thank you. All right, we'll see. Nathan agrees. New time for a new chapter there, Nate. And I'll be interested to see what happens. But of course, as I mentioned, we did have one more coach that was fired, and he was fired this morning.
Yeah, this one. I was going to say, this one shocked me, actually.
Did it shock you?
Why I don't know.
Why did it shock you?
Well, to me, I don't know. Like, I think Mike Vrabel is actually a really good coach. So I don't know if I would have necessarily tossed him, but like wherever he lands, he's going to do well. I'm going to be honest. So I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily the right move. I actually think the Tennessee Titans were trending in the right direction. With like even Will Levis, like that's going to be their guide, right? Like all they would need to do is maybe build around it a little bit more. Even with Derrick Henry potentially leaving in free agency, like I don't think that was the right move, but that's just me.
Well, that's I actually kind of
good.
Okay, yeah, Tina, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to let Tina jump in there. Go ahead, Tina. Give us your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans getting rid of Mike Vrabel.
I was just going to say, like, they were supposed to do well last year. They didn't do really well. They started out hot, and then they got cold. Derrick Henry wasn't doing anything. Their wide receivers fell off, and the same thing kind of happened. They had a little push once in a while. The game we all remember with Will Levis, where he ended up, what was it? He threw the ball and then ended up intercepting his own ball or something like that. So I think they were hot in places, but it wasn't going the right direction. I agree. I think Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. Mm-hmm. I just think there was something else going on, and so it was gone.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Sean. You were going to say something?
Yep.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
No. What I was saying was kind of towards Kyle's point about that, it being the fact that Derrick Henry might be on his last leg, and him saying he, kind of, hey, goodbye to everybody and things like that. And that Tannehill, we know he's kind of out. And 2 straight years you drafted a new quarterback, so you're kind of telling him we want to move on from you. And I mean, D-Hop is there, yeah, but how long is he going to be there for? So it might be a whole thing with them just kind of trying to get younger. I mean,
yeah, no, it's possible, sure. Alex, what do you think?
I think the one main thing, and the main reason I'm not surprised, even though he is a really good coach, is you look at his entire time in Tennessee, there's been that hole in the quarterback spot. And he's had time to work with Tannehill, and it didn't work. And he had the 2 years to work with Malik Willis. That hasn't worked. So I think it's going to be a guy, because I think Will Levis is their quarterback. I think they found something in him. It's going to be an offensive guy that they feel can develop Will Levis and can bring that offense into the forefront, because with Vrabel, it was a defensive team for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true. No, it's interesting to me because whenever we talk about coaches that are getting fired, you always go, well, here's probably the likely candidates. And I guess I kind of agree. I think it was Kyle who said he was a little surprised. I thought Vrabel would be at the bottom of the list, if anything. I didn't think he'd be one of the first 3 fired, in my opinion. Like, I thought maybe they'd look in a different direction, but I didn't realize he would get the axe that quickly, where he fell this morning, and that was it. Also, Tennessee will be looking for a new coach. I mean, again, we know that there's probably about 3 or 4 more coaches that are probably going to get fired. Again, I know everybody's looking at Chicago, and, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to be honest. I've been trying to read all day, trying to read into whatever I could to see if I could get any information. And it's pretty much, Eberflus is operating like he's still the coach. He thinks he should still be the coach, given some of the progress we made this year. And my understanding was all the exit interviews were done yesterday and this morning. So he'll meet with management, I think, tomorrow. So we'll be interested to see if anything else comes out this week about Eberflus and next season. Yeah, Ben, I'm kind of leaning towards that, the way the season ended, even though we lost to the Packers. I do kind of feel like Matt will get another year at least. And if he does, I'll be okay with it as long, and I'm saying as long, as pulls some stuff and really gets us what we absolutely need to solidify this team, like a true center, another inside linebacker, another corner, another stud receiver to go with DJ Moore. We have some needs here. I don't think he's getting traded either, Nate. But you know what? You never know, man. Seriously, anything could happen. Even Justin, and when he said his goodbye kind of thing, he was like, "If this is my last game, I thank you, Chicago. I appreciate the last 3 years." Because hey, he knows it's a business, and anything can happen at any given time. So I'll wait until I hear the announcement. But yeah, I kind of hope Justin stays, and I hope we just build around him and figure this thing out. Because again, we did double our win total. We went from 3 to 7, so we slightly went over the double there. So hopefully we can get something.
I was going to say, I think Eberflus is definitely safe, but I think the hottest seat, which everybody's watching right now, is definitely New England with Bill Belichick. That seems to be the one where everybody's like, is the egg going to drop and is it going to crack? Because I don't know. I'm not saying that the Falcons would want Belichick, but there's a lot of links right now to Atlanta and Bill Belichick. Not saying that that's what I want to roll with, but I don't know. He's definitely proven, regardless of him getting Tom Brady or not, he ran a team to 6 Super Bowl wins, right? So there's something to be said about that, right?
You want Mike Vrabel? He's available. Sorry,
I think Belichick also needs the right team. He needs a team and a culture that's going to let him be the man that does everything. He is a micromanager. His underlings, they do everything. So he needs the right culture. He built that in New England. The question is, can he do it again? And he's one of the ones being tossed around for the Raiders. Mm-hmm. If Josh McDaniels can't do it in Raider territory, Belichick isn't going there.
They should stick with Pierce, I think.
Yeah, Pierce is the guy in there. He should.
Yeah, I gotta think.
You're never going to hear me say anything nice about the Raiders ever. Usually, I think Antonio Pierce has earned his. He's earned the right to have that job. And here's where I'm going to be mean about the Raiders. And if he isn't given the job, the owner is an idiot. That's all I got to say. He's proven himself to be an idiot.
I think the only way that Pierce isn't the head coach is if they swing for the fences and go for Jim Harbaugh. I think that's the only way Pierce is not the head coach.
Yeah.
And apparently there's interest on both sides if you believe what you read on the internet.
But I'm hearing him and the Chargers too.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, there was 3 teams. They said it was Raiders, Chargers, somebody else. Go ahead, Alex.
I'm on the opposing side where if I'm a head coach, the Chargers aren't actually that appealing of a job to me. You've got the quarterback and the left tackle, but of the guys on the list here, you're probably losing at least 2, if not 3. You're probably Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Corey Linsley, your center, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James. You're probably losing at least 2 to 3 of those guys because you're in cap hell right now.
But you're rebuilding.
75 mil over the Now you do have the number 5 pick, and you don't need a quarterback or a left tackle, so you're kind of in a dream scenario there. But to me, I don't think the Chargers are really that appealing of a job. And Ben, I was hearing that back a month ago.
Probably I was going to say
that's probably
ready for Harbaugh to sign.
It's the sports media trying to push up energy and trying to push all this stuff through. We're not going to know what it happens until they sign on a dotted line, and they can't sign contracts until March. So dream your dreams that you want and all of that. And to go to your line about the Chargers, I agree with most of it, except for the wide receiving core. That is an old wide receiving core at the Chargers. Yep. So when you're coaching, you can't rely on those guys all the time because they're gonna get injuries that the other guys can bounce back from quickly. So is it a dream job? I don't know. And yes, they're my rivals, so I have opinions on it.
I don't think it's that great a job.
How old is Keenan Allen?
Not right now.
How old?
God.
32.
Got to be right. He's got to be 30, early 30s, right? Yeah.
And Mike Williams isn't far. I think Mike Williams is just under 30. So I mean,
then you got Palmer, and what about Eckler?
Eckler will go. I think Eckler's going to go
Eckler's-
somewhere else.
Yeah, Eckler's a free agent. He's out the door, I bet.
Really?
Mhm.
Ooh, okay.
So
Bye,
by
Austin.
draft time, Keenan Allen will be 32.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay, so there,
There
you
you
go.
go.
Yeah, no, see some Chargers are
And
cap
also,
hell. That-
yes. They are too. They're not quite as bad as we are, but they're in really bad cap
They're
situation.
very
yes,
similar to
yes.
what the Bucks were the last couple years. That's
Ah,
where
okay,
their
okay,
cap
okay.
situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike
All right,
Williams is
well-
29 for that receiving picture.
Okay, 29.
Okay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all that. I mean, again, we know there's going to be more firings, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about in the weeks to come.